Yeah, just started it. Yeah, that might be it. I don't know. Richie, can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear, Travis. How you doing?
Good. Are you doing this with me?
Yeah, we're gonna commentaries live, so
Cool.
we're
Okay.
gonna be
Awesome.
starting off now. Oh,
All
it
right.
looks like I've been placed into a car. That's a big mistake by me, but I apologize for that. Forgot again to spectator mode.
All right. Cool. When it loads in and we get some cars, I'll hit the intro, and then are you gonna back out and come back in?
I think I'll just retire right away to
Oh,
get
that would
off
make
this
more
one.
sense, wouldn't it? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for this Tier 1 race that we're about to have. It's gonna be a showdown amongst the top talent of UN esports. Who are your favorites for? Who are you looking at as a favorite today, Travis?
That is a good question. I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Yeah,
My
I might be able to answer it for you since I
right,
maybe have a little bit more knowledge of the driver space. I think I'm looking at Tom Rod Brooks, L1 Valache, Vice Shang, our Season 1 champion Freddy 2 Real, and of course Pepsi Freak as well, who put on a good battle towards the end of the season. And
for sure.
we got talented drivers like literally all the way up and down the grid. So I could go on and name all 20, but I think those are the guys. Those are the guys to watch today, I think.
All right, guys, before we get too far into this, I want to give you a little rundown of where we are today and what's going on. So, we are at um, this is our first race of season 2 here in Tier 1 of UNF Esports. And we kind of broke it up into tiers this year. So, Tier 2 and Tier 1. Tier 2 is obviously like our Premier League level, I guess you'd say. And our Tier 2 is the step below. And Freddie is our champion from last season, and here we are. He's in the Merc this year, which I got to tell you guys, I'm probably going to mess up a lot of the drivers this first race because they're in new cars, and I'm going to forget like who's in the Renault and who's in the Merc and stuff like that. But I'm here with Frecci, who just finished the Tier 2 race. Frecci, how'd you do in Tier 2?
I really struggled with the track limits. I think I had 15 seconds with penalties, which is embarrassing to say, but it's true. Really kind of struggled keeping it in sector one with tire wear. I finished P8. I qualified in P10, which is also kind of rough for me. I was expecting to do better in qualifying, but just when the time is ticking down and you just kind of you mess up your first two laps of the inval, that it just kind of snowballs
Right,
from there. So.
of course. So,
But other than that, I really enjoyed it. It was good. We didn't have one. We had a little bit of a VSC, but other than that, we didn't have one safety car period, which
mhm.
some guys like to get an advantage. But it was just a nice, clean race throughout. Had some good overtakes, so can't complain.
For sure. Yeah, it was pretty awesome on the broadcast. I will say, as we just got a message from Pepsi here, as Barry leaves the session with 15 minutes left, interesting choice. That's a bold strategy. It looks like we're going to be
Okay.
wet today.
Oh wow, so we've got some wet weather for the Tier 1 boys. Interesting.
So that'll kind of change things up. And the weird thing about the wet is I think it'll kind of throw out what we thought maybe this race could give us kind of a baseline to see where we stack going forward. And with the wet coming in, there's just some guys who are really good wet racers, right? So who knows what we'll get today.
Yeah, so I wonder maybe we'll get an update from Pepsi what kind of wet weather we're looking at. If we're looking at a straight like wet tire or intermediate tire strategy for the drivers, because it'll be interesting to see if it's going to be like a dry and like a dynamic weather situation where it
Right.
goes dry to wet, or we'll see what happens. So that's going to be interesting. But I guess we're gonna see who's gonna be. Let me get the track map up here to see who's gonna be starting the first hot lap. It looks like it would be Al1 Valache in the McLaren. Or no, 8,000 RPM is coming around on his first hot lap of the season.
So
8,000 RPM has done pretty good enough too so far.
for
He's
real.
actually bagged a couple wins now, I think, in the feature and the sprint race. So it's good for him. Let's see what he can do here.
8000 is a really nice driver. I like his racecraft. I've been trying to learn from him in F2, and he's very smooth through these currents. And as you ride along with him here through the S's, you can kind of see how he hits those apexes. And a nice track note as he goes purple there in Sector 1. A nice track note about those S's, if you're off the racing line in those S's at any point, it completely throws off the next 3 or 4 turns in Sector 2 until you get to the hairpin. So very important to stay straight in there as Weisheng gets a 130.6. And Fredgy, you might remember him, but we saw Weisheng for a couple of races last year in UNF esports.
Yeah, we saw him for unfortunately only one race. He won it, so he's got 100% win percentage right now. Let's see if he can possibly keep that up right now today. But yeah, the times just didn't line up for him, and it's good to see him back here today because he's got some tremendous talent. I think you'll remember well because you commentated that race. He had like
Right.
100% ERS on the last lap.
Yeah, it was insane. I've never seen anything like that since or before, really, in the races I've done. I do have a question for you about strategy, and our boy, my friend, young Chastappen here. Why is he on mediums right now? What is his
Oh,
thinking?
and interesting. So I guess his thinking would be obviously to get the overcut on the guys who are running the soft tire. So, but also it's kind of interesting. I don't really know what's going on with the weather situation. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Pepsi right now for an update. But if he's gonna go on the mediums, he's looking for an overcut. So he's gonna stay
Mhm.
longer on those mediums, and then I guess his thinking is the rain might not be able to take that. The rain might be coming later than the first pit stop for those guys on soft. So the guys on soft tire might have to go soft, then intermediate, something like that. Whereas
Right.
Chaza could go medium to one stop, medium to intermediate.
That would make sense. That would be pretty smart. That's kind of a big kind of play, a big gamble there. But if he's running fifth fastest on mediums, and again, we only have 7 times in, but if he goes the top five, even a top seven on mediums, that's a great gamble on his part, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see here. I'm going to jump along with just Jose, who just put in a 130.5 as we kind of come through the hairpin here in Sector 1. We'll ride along with him in the Haas. Jose was what, our 10th fastest on the board, I think, or 11th?
Yeah, he was ranked 10th or 11th, but he's shown some tremendous pace in practice sessions. I've been in a lobby with him, and he was qualified P1 with a couple of fast guys already in there.
Nice.
It'll be interesting to see now. I think we got Cliffy going around for a hot lap. This is an addition brought into the league by Johnny R95, and he's claimed that his pace is absolutely alien.
Well, that lap was a
And he said,
150. That's alien. That's
yeah, he said
alien
no
in a weird
150
way.
to. Yeah, so that was a little alien slow, but that was because he was parked at the end of for the last turn there
Right.
before the start finish straight. But let's see what he can do. It's kind of interesting. He's on 2 lap old soft, so I think he's probably just gonna bring this back into the pits.
He just
Yeah, he's not.
invalidated, too.
Yeah, he's not doing too much right now. He's just gonna bring that back into the pits.
And I want to
Do you
say,
see anything worth mentioning up and down the grid, Travis?
let's see here. 8,000's on 2 lap old. He's probably getting ready to come in. Let's see. Johnny's on an out lap in the Renault. Let's check out what Johnny's up to. I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of our returners here, Johnny and Brevin, Pepsi, Freddie and Manuel, Toss, uh, Young Chastappen. These guys all helped make the league kind of what it is going into season 2. And Johnny showed a lot of pace kind of in the mid-season, and it kind of fell off. So I'm interested to see how he responds now that we have a more
Wow,
loaded
Tom,
Tom Brooks.
I was on board there with Tom Rod as he just went out across start finish. That's a P1 for him with a 130.3.
That's your
Yeah,
boy.
as you were saying, Travis. Yeah, like these guys that were in the league first season, they helped lay the foundation for everything. So big shout out to them.
As we just saw, Johnny went purple in Sector 1 here. He's chasing down Tom Rod. I'm excited to see Tom Rod. Oh, 130.1 from Veloce. Wow,
Oh,
that's quick.
bravo! The Italian stallion, Alwan Villace. Unfortunately, he never got his desired Ferrari seat, but he's looking to capitalize here in the McLaren, and he's done so far. 130.1. These are absolutely rapid times. I think Troy's pole lap in Tier 2 was a 130.6.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be sitting P4 right now in Tier 1. So that just shows you the kind of talent level we got here in
Right.
Tier 1. These guys are quick, and you see the intervals from P1 to P10. It's pretty close.
That's what you like to see. It almost looks like might be an obscure reference, but if you ever watch bobsledding on TV, all of their times are super close to. It's
Yeah.
very strange. Johnny,
They're looking for tenths of a second.
right?
Oh, Johnny goes P2. Yeah, good point. Wow.
Look at that. Let's see what Vice Shing's up to
He's in
here.
the Renault. Yeah, this is gonna be like a different, some different liveries than we're used to on our season one
Right.
drivers. A little bit of a switch up.
And so, just from an American point of view, I oscillate between calling it Renault and Renault. And if you in the comments, you want to phonics it out for me so I get it right, you're more than welcome to.
Well, I think the French in Canada will make me say Renault.
Oh, okay. Like Reno, Nevada.
No, no, maybe you gotta pronunciate really the Renault.
Oh, Renault. There you
Yeah,
go.
really
Yeah.
get your throat going with the French language there.
So I really feel like I'm making fun of the French when I do that. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to alienate our viewership
Called,
here.
called, cultural appropriation.
Right.
Anyways,
Sebastian got a purple there in Sector 1, so he's coming in towards the end of Sector 2 here. Let's see if he can keep up that net average. Purple in Sector 2. Oh, he's 2 tenths up. He might be sub 130.
let's see what he can do. He just
Oh,
invalidated there. Just went outside the red lines. Interesting.
that is tough. You gotta hate
Yeah,
that.
I feel like a lot of people in Tier 2 today were struggling with the chalk limits, so we'll see what guys up here in Tier 1 can do with it.
Right. I know you said you had some problems. I know Slotty had some problems. There's a couple other people. This track's really easy to go across the limits on. I found that out in my single player career mode. It's for some reason it's like as I
Yeah,
try to
especially
drag it
when
out a little. You know what I mean?
I was really trying to force the one-stop strategy when I maybe should have been doing the two-stop, but I was trying to
Mm.
force it. And when you're dealing with tire wear, it's just it becomes just that much tougher. Like you said in Sector 1, when you miss an apex, it's gonna bite you in the next corner. So it's really a flowing track. So
And I know that when the Americans designed this track, that sort of S section they took from Hockenheim and Silverstone, and they kind of stretched it out a little bit. But if you're familiar with NASCAR, Riverside Raceway had a very similar S series, and the high speed S that's almost straight feels very American to me when I look at road courses.
yeah, it's something when you nail it, it feels so satisfying. It really is a track that is growing on me over the course of this week.
Right. I've heard a lot of criticisms about it. It's almost maybe a little too cookie cuttery, which I can follow that too. But I mean, this is a sport that is really growing in America. At least since when I was in high school, it has jumped up in popularity. So I think F1 might be poised to make a big jump in North America.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, but I think this circuit has a lot of a lot of positives too. It has like some good elevation changes. I love Sector 1. There's a nice long straight to overtake, so I think it has like a good little bit of everything. So we're gonna be in store for some good racing here today.
I'm sitting here looking at the top tier here as I ride along with Veloce on his outlap as he lets the Ferrari go by. Almost caused a crash there. I mean, look at the split between 2 and 3 is 100th. Same thing with
Yeah.
4th and 5th. Look at 7 through 9. It's just
So
silly.
Wei Sheng is retired on.
Hmm.
I think you know what he wanted to stay on those. He's on almost a fresh pair of softs there with that 130,
You
so
had to
he
keep
wanted to
them.
stay.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
Valachi right now. It looks like he's on a so it's a purple first sector. He's on a great lap right now.
You think we could see sub 130 from one of these guys?
I think it's definitely possible. I think we were about to see it there with Wei Sheng, like you said, and then he just unfortunately invalidated. Man, as you see how close they ride to the track limits, these guys in
Right.
Tier 1, it's amazing how close they get to to the boundaries.
It's like they're like a pixel away. I mean, the net code has to be really spot on here. Or you're gonna get nicked for real. That is what you know.
Wow.
From my experience, so my experience racing is mostly like another purple sector for Velocio. We might see this sub 130. Um, Most of my racing experience is like GT Sport, iRacing, DTM kind of type cars. So I'm learning how to drive, and the one thing that makes you guys, yourself included, quick on this game is the usage of the track limits. Like using every inch and carrying the speed. It's very hard to learn.
Yeah, it's a tough game to really stress.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, he does go
Wow.
sub 130. Wow, 129.7. What a lap for
Really,
Valache.
really
Cliffy goes right
sub.
behind him. Cliffy goes right behind him with the
Wow.
129.8. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
There's that
This
alien
is
speed.
this is gonna be an interesting race to watch. I'm excited for what we have in store here. Wow.
I love it too. I love how we got Tom Rod 130.2. So we got they're starting to stack up now. Now as the rubber's starting to build up on the track, we're getting a little bit better times as everybody's getting loose.
Yeah, we see Johnny is now on an outlap. Jose just bangs it. He's coming into the pits there. That's unfortunate for him. He's gonna need a wing change now. Just stopping, just kind of running through the order here.
I
You see
think Chest
anybody that
happened.
looks like they're on a notable flyer, Travis? Sorry, go ahead.
Let's see here. I was just gonna say, well, Pippo's 3 seconds up. That's not gonna happen for him. The rest of him validated. Let's see what Brevin does. I think that Chestappen, his Brevin slows down here. I think that Chestappen could be a sleeper. I think he's got some talent if he can be consistent.
Oh yeah, 100%. Chestappen is a dedicated driver. You know he's gonna come with his A game. He's gonna come with a good strategy. So he's a driver that is gonna be on our radar for sure for hopefully a podium because he has the talent to do it.
Oh, for sure. I'm riding along with Brevin in the Mercedes. If you see something better, let me know. We'll jump in.
Yeah, Brevin, one of our constructor champions from season one. They've decided to go. Him and Freddie, teammates, have decided to go with Mercedes here, which is interesting.
Right. It's so weird to see them together in a Mercedes. This is very odd.
It is. They've gone to the dark side. They've
They
gone almost kind of opposite. They were the orange, lively livery, and now they've kind of gone just black, and they're looking for the kill.
they're following the Lewis Hamilton route. Let's see if it brings him 5 straight championships or whatever he's on now.
Yeah, hopefully it will bring them some success. But it looks like right now they're both at the bottom of the order. They're gonna have to get in a couple of good laps soon. Freddie looks like he's on an outlap. Brevin is. Let's see what he can do in sector one here. He nails the first sector there. Two 2 tenths down on his fastest time though. So I don't know if he can if he can gain on what he's put down so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 tenths will basically gain him one position, if that.
So that kind of just shows you, man, this competition at Tier 1 is maybe something that they're not going to be used to. It's going to be something they're going to have to really buckle down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's looking like it's super competitive all the way down the field. Honestly, can't believe this right now.
Freddie talks a lot too about, hey, you may be faster than me, but you're not going to be more consistent than me. You're not going to be able to defend like me. You're not going to have the strategy like me. It's very, very true. He's my F2 teammate, and I've kind of stolen
100%.
that motto from him.
Yep, 100%. Freddie is still, whatever he qualifies here, is one of the top drivers on the grid, and I wouldn't want to be racing with him behind me.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. What we got is Brevin parks it around the turn. I guess he's okay with 16th. That's odd. I don't know what's
Yeah,
happening right now.
I think he was good with his tires on his first lap that he went out on. He doesn't want to use those current soft tires that he has on the car.
I'm jumping on with Freddie right now, our defending champion, who's in 18th. He was 3/10 up through Sector 1. And then we still got our top two. We got Cliffy and Vilace back out on their outlap. So after we get done with Freddie here, we'll jump over to them and see if we can set a new record.
As Pepsi Freak is coming in P12, is retired from the session. He's going to stay with that time there. Get a fresh set of compounds on the race start. But Freddie right now, he comes so close to invalidating there in that little red patch of tarmac.
I know as announcers we're not supposed to root for people, but I really like Freddie and I really like Johnny. They're just cool guys.
They're awesome guys. I'm rooting for everyone, but yeah, of course, I want to see our season 1 guys do good. And Freddie, I don't think he improved a little bit on his time there, but it was just not enough of that, and he goes to P15. Melvin has retired from the session as well. So all these guys at the back who are really competitive, we might be seeing totally different strategies and situations than we're used to in Tier 1. Like
For
these
real.
guys at the back of the pack, they could be really capitalizing off having a fresh tire compound. And
Hmm.
so we could maybe be seeing the guys in like top 10 lose positions off the start. So it will be interesting to see here.
Yeah, that's a good
This
point.
is it's going to be some like elite level racing that like maybe we're not totally used to here.
Freddie, if that seems like a Freddie move. That seems like a complete Freddie move. Set up, hey, out qualified midfield. Watch me get on a fresh set and blow by.
Yeah, for real. I think that might have, because we saw Brevin there. He really kind of just let up before the start finish. So he didn't want to improve on his time.
And breaking news here in the commentator booth. It looks like we're going full wet to dry on the race.
Oh yeah, that was at a point that I totally missed. Pepsi Freak, or sorry, Toss My Salad has mentioned that the race is starting on a wet compound, as you just said.
This will
So
be awesome.
yeah, this is gonna be a wet to dry race. This is gonna be crazy to watch.
Man.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna run and grab a drink quick, Travis, before this gets underway.
Alrighty. Alright, looks like we got our grid set here as we're waiting on the time to count down, and we will run through our final grid once we load into the finished screen. But these lap times are insane. The gap from second to 18th is 2 seconds. It really feels like a real F1 kind of timesheet here. So we ride along on the Merc here with Freddie as we advance to the next stage here. And here's our order. I'll run down. We got Veloce with a pole position in the McLaren with a 1:29.7, 9 tenths behind him. Sorry, 9 thousandths, tenths, hundredths behind him. We have Cliffy in the Haas, Tom Rod Brooks in third. That is your podium on the start. We got Johnny R95 in fourth, Just Jose in fifth, Daniel in sixth, Toss My Salad in seventh, Young Chisap in eight, Vice Sheng 9, who is 100% win percentage in our league, don't forget that, and Manuel in 10th. That's our top 10. We have two Ferraris in 11th and 13th. That looks like real life. Godly Noob in the Red Bull in 12th, Melvin, Freddie 8000, Brevin into the world. Round out our qualifiers and Berries, who retired from the session, will bring up the rear. So it'll be interesting to see what he does because we have no idea what his times are.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Barry's there. He was having some connection issues throughout the qualifying session. See if he could
That's a tough scene.
stay in the race.
And apologies on the audio issue with the draft. I'm not sure if it's because of my PS5 system to the PS4 system or what. I was trying to figure it out while they were doing it, and I couldn't figure it out. So if you guys got an answer, let me know.
Yeah, don't no worries on the draft, Travis. I was like, oh, it's unfortunate. My AI is gonna be in this race now. Uh, Big mistake with that, but that happens.
Yeah, if it's a back marker, it'll be okay. If your ghost starts turning out 128s, it'll be a problem.
I gonna get a good view of the start here though from the back. So
And also, don't forget, if you're watching this live, we will have a highlight recap coming out this week that Pepsi and Fretchy work on. It's really awesome. I really enjoy it. It's usually pretty funny with some edits and some, get some nice in-car views to some crashes if we have a few. So the wet might give us some radical new kind of unexpectedness here.
yeah, big shout out to Pepsi, our video editor for the league. He's done a great job with doing everything so far. As you see here, the guys are kind of backed up on this formation lap. Everyone is not totally moving. Vice Chang is at a standstill.
And Vice Chang's he's just stretching, getting loose.
Yeah, Vice Chang has decided not to partake in the formation lap.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that mean you're basically starting on straight cold tires and cold brakes?
Oh, very, very cold tires and brakes. That's unfortunate for him. I don't know if he's just left the screen for a moment and missed the start of the race or what's going on, but he's going to be starting on cold tires, cold engine. Not optimal at all.
Did you see the projected pit strategy there was wet throughout the race? So that'll be interesting to see. One of my
Yeah,
favorite things,
usually Codemasters doesn't give us a
right?
differing pit strategy with the weather. It's you know usually yeah.
Right. I was going to say, usually my engineer comes in and tells me it's going to rain in 10 minutes, and then it never rains.
Yeah, so once Jeff sees the clouds starting to part, he might come along with a different strategy for us.
Yeah, or if it's like in our first race, he'll just put you on the wrong tire for no reason. You never know. Ooh, as Jose goes for a nice drift there in the Haas on his formation lap. That's one way to get heat in the tires. I would like to give a big shout out to AlphaTauri. I really love the livery. I think they did a great job. And I would like Alpha to go back to the drawing board. That's just me, though. Look at that. That was a lovely formation lap, guys. Well done. Nobody crashed into anybody. Nobody hit a barrier. Nothing crazy happened. There's no penalties. Well done, guys. Look at that. Look at the progress we've made.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this race is going to pan out. It's really unfortunate that I forgot to go into spectator mode though. My AI is probably going to jump to start.
Just mess everything up. So now we're waiting for the rest of these guys
Well,
to line up.
yeah,
Go for it.
that's why I won't retire to make sure my AI does not jump to start. It's a good idea. So I'll get a great view of this back of the grid here, but
Cool.
yeah.
And we're counting down here. Palache and Cliffy in the front row into T1. It's 5 lights
Red
out.
lights on, and away we go.
Oh! Oh!
Oh,
Contact
we got a pile
already!
up here in the back. Contact, wings everywhere. Vice Shang has not gone off the start. His car is going to get disqualified from the race. Pepsi Freak is in the back. He's I think lost some wing from that interaction.
Yes,
As we
sir.
got a bunch of people in the back who have gone away. But Travis, you can take us up to the front of the pack. Looks like Veloce has kept the lead. Oh, we got a Renault off.
That's Johnny.
As now I think I'm good to retire my car as I'll come into the spectator booth. Pepsi Freak and people are at the back really struggling. As yes, we got L1 Veloci in the front and followed by Cliffy, Tom Rod Brooks, Just Jose, Daniel Rick, Godly Nub, and Johnny. That's our top 7 right there. Followed by Manel, Young Chad Stappen, Melvin, 8,000 RPM, and our champion, or Season 1 championship leader, Freddie, who's made up, let me check right here, he's made up three positions off the start, our championship leader Freddie, and 8,000 RPM 5 himself. And wow, I gotta point this out, Cody, aka Godly Nub, has made up 7 positions on the start. A fantastic start for the Red Bull in the wet here.
Absolutely
Oh,
incredible.
he makes a little bit of contact with just Jose and the Haas, but we're gonna be seeing a little bit of wheel banging this wet weather until guys get the traction of these tires in the way. As Jose comes right back with a little bit of wheel bang there for himself. See here, these two guys are fighting it out. Looks like Jose is backed off, rightly so. We got a train of drivers all the way down the grid though, as Tom, Brooks, Cliffy, and L1 Veloce are starting to pull away.
Yep, that was a wild start as Weisheng didn't move, and it looked like somebody drove right into the back of him. I didn't catch who it was, but Petsy did lose part of his wing as both Ferraris are now in the pits.
As 8,000, something happened. There's this virtual safety car. 8,000 RPM is retired from the session. He spun off somewhere in the track. That's right before the start-finish straight. He spun off. See his DNF right in the final turn before the start-finish straight. Oh, so there goes 8,000 RPM. An unfortunate start to his first race of the season.
That is a big, big loss for him. I thought he was a sleeper. I thought he definitely had some speed there. That's a tough loss. I missed the crash. I was watching Ferrari double stack the pits.
Yeah, Ferrari's had a brutal start. Both picked up wing damage, I'm sure of it. Unfortunate start to 8,000 RPM season. That's a little bit reminiscent of his F2 start. But he can probably bounce back. Keep your head up, mate. We'll see here. The green flag is on. Racing has resumed.
The floorboard here on the left doesn't know where anything is right now.
A little bit of rumble jumble. Travis, a little bit of echo going on right now.
Veloce and Cliffy have jumped back out, and they got both the Red Bulls behind them. Godly Numb is 3 seconds behind, but like you said, he's made up 8 positions, and we thought he'd be good, but maybe he's our wet savant.
Yeah, for sure. It's impressive to see that here. It looks like right now the order is about how we left it. It looks like Manel has made up a few positions from P8. He's jumped Daniel Rick and Young Verstappen. End of the world. Important to note, Freddie and Brevin, our Constructors Champion from Season 1, have made a fantastic start so far. They've both made up 7 and 4 positions respectively. Brevin has got off to a wicked start, made up 7 positions, so he's really loving this wet weather right now.
Because Pipo has spun in Sector 3, there's a yellow flag, and he is now returning the track.
Yeah, and Pepsi is right behind him. Pepsi's got to be flustered right now.
Yeah, definitely not what we were used to from Freddie, but everybody has a race like that. And it's, as Brevin picks up a time penalty there, so does Barry's for cutting corners.
Ooh.
Easy to do.
I was on board with Cliffy right now. He just had a purple Sector 1, but then went for a little bit of a spin and lost some time on L1 Veloce. But he's got some good pace here in this wet weather.
Johnny picks up a penalty as well. It's nice to see them pushing so hard. And the thing about the penalties with our track limits is because we're pushing. We have guys that are pushing hard to put in these lap times. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like occasionally you get penalties in football because you're being aggressive. You'd rather them be aggressive.
Yeah, for sure. It's drivers just fighting to keep the car on track, especially in weather like this. It makes it so much more difficult.
So I'm with Manuel right now. He just passed Jose. He's closing in on Godly Noob. Is it Noob or Nub?
I would say it's Godly Nub.
Nub. Okay, cool. And he's 5 spots up from his start. End of the World is 10 spots up. Looking good for him.
Yeah, Manel is another one of our Season 1 drivers who's really talented. He won Abu Dhabi season... it wasn't our season finale, but he won our Abu Dhabi race in Season 1, which was a great performance from him.
Yep. That was our penultimate race.
Closed down on... as we had some guys that just jumped into the pits. We had Cliffy and Tom Brooks who jumped into the pits, so these are they going to? Oh, they're going to inters. The track is good for inters now. So, oh, interesting. Cliffy and Tom Rod Brooks are the first to jump. Oh, Freddie has jumped in the pits as well with Melvin. So it's interesting to see now what L1 Veloce is going to do. Is he going to hop in the pits this lap? I guess so. I guess those wet tires are starting to burn out.
They are. We just saw, I believe Daniel spun out there and dropped down the order a little bit while
Oh,
Ray
I
was up
missed
at the
that.
inners.
Oh, so that's unfortunate for Daniel. He's losing positions now as Tom Rod is just
Jose's against the wall now.
Oh, what's
Wow.
happened there? Jose is DQ'd. Is that going to be a safety car or another VSC?
That was tough. He was doing really well there. It looked like the wets just burned
Uh,
out too quick on him. So now I'm interested to see how these inters work. So in theory, Cliffy, Freddie, Tom, Melvin, they should be super quick compared to these guys.
just Jose's. It looks like he's probably DQ'd in a place where it's not caused anything. But sorry, what did you say there, Travis? I missed it.
Oh, you're good. Cliffy's making a double move here as he gets around Brevin and Johnny there. That was a nice double overtake.
Beautiful scenes here. Yeah, the rain is really starting to let up as well. So we're going to be seeing the track start to dry out.
And I gotta say, as the
Big
track,
pack there behind Cliffy. Sorry to cut
oh
you
yeah,
off.
for sure. No, I'm just saying, as the track starts to dry out, don't be surprised to see Pepsi start catching all these guys.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Oh, his end of the world is hopping into the pits now. We're gonna start seeing these guys. L1 Veloce has just left the pits. He's gonna leave
And
now. We'll see here. We'll see here.
Johnny's coming in.
Where's Cliffy at? Is L1? Yeah, Veloce is gonna beat him. It looks like. Just no, he's not. Cliffy gains a position.
Oh, there he goes.
So it's gonna be almost wheel to wheel there. So yeah, now Cliffy has made the undercut on Veloce and gained the position. Good for him.
So we got another yellow in Sector 3 as the car has went
Yeah, it
off.
looks
So
like Alfa Romeo has gone off. Maybe Melvin. Yeah, it looks like it was Melvin. He's gone
and
back on the track now. He's good to go.
here comes Cliffy on Young Chestappen for the lead as Cliffy just went purple in Sector 1. And it's definitely an inner track as he's blowing by Young Chestappen. And here comes Veloce right behind him.
Yep. Chaz has stayed out a little bit too long on those, and he knows it. He's just let them by nicely. Cliffy and Veloce are now on a sprint up front. Tom Rod Brooks has got to get around Chaz ASAP and catch these guys on the straight. As yeah, Chaz right now has done the deed, gotten right out of his way. A smart racer that.
Yes, sir. No reason to battle.
Yeah, that's what we see here with these tier 1 guys. Just like a different maybe an IQ with the game. Like all these guys are super on point with the racing.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
really understand like in-depth strategies. Oh, his Tom Rod sets a purple sector too. Looks like he's trying to catch these guys. He's got the warmer tires than Veloce, so I think we might be seeing an overtake soon.
And one lap difference on the inners, the difference isn't necessarily in tire wear, but it's you made the jump early enough, so that's where your advantage is, I think. As this track dries out, we'll have another jump too. Who's jumping to softs or mediums next? So, what do you think is going to? I guess it depends on how soon the track dries the rest of the way out, if it does. But we could see somebody jump to mediums to try to go to the rest of the way. Maybe they do softs, and you have a 2 or 3 stop race pretty easy. Tom Rad goes purple for the lap.
Yeah, I think what exactly what you're saying there. I think these guys are going to try and want to stretch out the inters now and take the mediums home when the track dries out. Or possibly if they can, if this track stays wet up until like lap lap 20 range, they could put on the softs and take it home. But I think we're going to be seeing the guys put on mediums once these inters burn out.
That would be my strategy for sure. Oh, Godly Gnome goes way off track there in the S's there. He was gaining on manual there, but now he's going to lose maybe a second or two there. He had a nice drift there. Travis Pastrana would be proud.
Oh yeah, and it's important to note, Veloce has picked up a 3-second. So this battle until if Cliffy or Tomrod don't pick anything up, it's going to be a battle between Cliffy and Tomrod right now.
Good eye, good
But
catch.
it looks like Cliffy is starting to pull a gap to Veloce. He's got it to 1.3 seconds.
It's something about the Haas in our league. Something about it. Cross won the most races in a row ever in our league in the Haas, and now we see Cliffy out front pulling away here in the rain.
Yeah, there's this. The Haas is a car that performs in these UN esport leagues. Just something about it. You see here, looks like we got Chaza right on the back of Freddy. Important to know we got battles all the way up and down this field. Oh, Pipo is retired from the session in Sector 1.
Wow. Tough start for Ferrari.
And it looks like his car is still driving on track, so we'll see there if he retired the car on track. Be maybe going to the stewards.
Yes, sir. As Cliffy sits a 141.1 for our FTD so far. I think Chaz is going to have Freddie here coming in, come into Sector 1 here, past the start finish. Unless he overcooks it right there, which he did. So maybe that isn't going to work.
Yeah, I'll see if he can get a good exit here.
Freddie's a hard guy to get around.
Yeah, Freddie's pulling away from him. Chaz has been saving his ERS brilliantly, though. He's had 100% at the start of the straight. He's burned it now.
ERS becomes doubly. Yeah, sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna say he was just not close enough there on the intake. But yeah, ERS is what? Sorry.
Wow. Young Giuseppe uses the S's there. We're having a lot of trouble with S's. ERS is doubly important in the rain when there's no DRS enabled. So I'm saving it as well as young Chestappen is doing in his number 79. Great number, by the way. As he picks up a penalty. As soon as they say something nice, he goes off track.
Yeah, the commentator's curse.
Man.
Maybe it's because he's listening right now. Head down, head down. Yeah, Freddie looks like he's got to set up more tune to the straights, so it looks like he pulls away on the straights.
Classic Freddie.
We got Johnny ahead. Maybe he's looking for a move on End of the World. New addition to the league. He's looked like a strong driver so far.
Yes, sir. Johnny seems to be catching him a little bit more in the turns in the straightaway again. I wonder if the straight speed for Freddie makes a lot of sense because he seems like he trusts himself technically in the corners a lot more than he wants to rely on his car setup.
Yeah, he can really set. He feels like he can send the car in and make up for that lack of downforce in the setup.
Right. Give me the speed. I'll handle the rest.
Yeah, it's really it's a great perk to have as a driver, and it's a lot. One of the reasons maybe allowed him to win the championship in season 1.
Yeah, his consistency. Part of being consistent is knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and he seems to have identified those pretty well. But nice to see him jump into the points. His teammates are in the points. And we have a couple of other teammates in the points too, both the Alphas and both of the Rebels.
Looks like Barry's is going for a move right now on Brevin, possibly. Oh, he decides otherwise. He decided to be patient with it. Good for him.
I'd like to point out that the USA track here in Austin, we've also copied a part of Interlagos, right? You know, your T1 into T2. We basically took that downhill cutout from Interlagos. I just want to point that out. It's not as left-righty and maybe not as steep, but the basic idea was to steal that from them.
Yeah, I really enjoy this track. We've said it before, but like I think it's the elevation changes is one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah, I love elevation changes.
Yeah, that which is what you just said. That turn 1 there, right?
Yeah, and elevation changes on racetracks are like, I think it's hard for people to perceive if they aren't really familiar with racing or they aren't really into it. But when you're on track, the elevation change really changes the track. 'Cause all of a sudden corners become blind and kind of racing lines become a little blurry.
Yeah, and even not just elevation, just like the camber of the track, and like the
Right.
way that it's laid out. Like that's why Hockenheim is one of my favorite tracks because of that turn there that Sebastian Vettel went off on. You know,
Right.
I don't know exactly what number it is, but I think the little banking there. It's one of my favorite parts of the track.
Yeah, just happens catching in already again.
Yeah, I don't have the intervals on my screen right now, but yeah, it looks like Chaz is on the back of Freddy.
Yeah.
Valache is cut down. Oh, he's set a purple for sector. Pop back up to the leaders up front. He's cutting down this gap a bit on Cliffy, but he does have that 3-second penalty, which is unfortunate.
He's within a second.
Oh, if the game... Manel's just picked up a 3-second now.
Wow. So did Godley.
Oh, Godley, sorry.
Well, you know, As the race ended right now on lap 9, he'd still get second because he's 3 seconds over Tomrod. I still think Tomrod will be a guy that I think in mid-season will be like, he's going to be right there. I think he has a chance to finish top 3 in this league.
Yeah, have you liked what you saw from him so far?
Yeah, I like his lines and his consistency. He's made a few bobbles, but I mean, we're in the rain, so everybody's made a few bobbles. But I feel like if we were in the dry, we would see a different driver from him. But he just seems very, very smooth and calm. Um, like we said, Manuel has won a few races or won a race with us, but we've seen him also run out of gas in the last lap. We've seen him make some mistakes and
Yeah.
put it in the wall. So, for whatever reason, that makes me a little hesitant about Manuel just because I've seen it kind of not work out. But Tom doesn't seem to have those things right now. I say that we're 9 laps into his UN Esports career, but at this point, looks pretty good.
Yeah, so far he's doing very good, and I wanted to point out, that Melvin was on the back of Brevin, but it looks like he's not going for the move anymore. But these guys at the back are really fighting. We got talented drivers all the way through the field. Unfortunately, Pepsi and Toss My Salad are Season 1 guys, are having a tough day at the back, but as this track, it's still spinning out there, but this track is going to start to dry out, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to have a whole nother race once these guys pit again.
Right, it's basically race number 2. Manuel gets another penalty. I'm going to check the penalties real quick to see what
These
we're looking
guys, I
at.
gotta say, they've been a lot better than us in Tier 2, especially in this rain. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Manuel and Johnny and Chastappen both have 6 seconds apiece.
Wow. And look at that. End of the World is now 12 positions positive. Barry's is now 10 positions positive as Young Chastappen gets another penalty. That might be his downfall. At least thus far that we've seen him racing is he does tend to get a lot of, I call it corner cutting, but it's really track limits.
Yeah, corner cutter, chocolate with sip, tomato.
Daniel's
But
all
end of
over
the
the back
world,
of
yeah,
Melvin.
that was a great point that you made. Yeah, 12 positions for end of the world. Great race for him so far.
So we got Daniel looking to make a move on Melvin here into the hairpin, but he's going to back out. I would say Daniel might have a move on him coming into this long stretch here. This is like a kilometer stretch long that we have in Sector 2. Very strange to me that it's in Sector 2, but hey, whatever. Melvin's making a
Yeah,
move on
see,
the inside of Brevin.
yeah, I saw him poking around there before. He's been very patient though. These
He
guys are
is.
trying to battle up in the 10th position, take that point. We'll see. Let me look at the penalties here again. I think they're all 3 apiece. Yeah, Chaza is going to drop right down. That's unfortunate for him. But yeah, Berries and Brevin both have 3 seconds. So Melvin could be patient right now, but I think he wants to pass Brevin and start cutting into those points because
Mm-hmm.
he can catch Chaza and maybe Freddy.
As Cliffy picks up a 3 second penalty, him and Valache are now
Oh.
even, and all of a sudden
Wow, so
Tom,
now yeah, so now we got a race on our hands. Yeah,
yes sir,
these we got a long race ahead of us, and I'm telling you, these track limits are pretty tough on this track, especially Sector 1 once the tire wear starts going up.
you made a really good point about the racecraft we have throughout the grid here. As Daniel makes a move on Melvin, can he make it stick as we go into the S's? As I go the wrong way on the grid, sorry, and he'll fall back in line through the S's because you would be insane to try to pass through these S's.
Yeah, you just get forced into single file here. You got to be so brave to attempt anything. It's just it's not possible unless yeah, it's just really not unless the guy in front of you is just really lacking the pace.
Right.
See here, you gotta keep it tight on the back and go for the overtake on along the straight here. Oh, Melvin's lost
Ooh,
it. He saved it nicely though. Great save.
that was a hell of a save. I would love to see what the input looked like he had on the wheel.
Oh man, we gotta cue up the Tokyo Drift music, Pepsi. We got a clip.
I love it. He's making a run now on the back of Daniel trying to take that position back.
Yeah, he's not
He
giving up
cooked it.
easy. Or both drivers lock up going into the corner.
Yeah, for sure. He won that position hard. They're pushing too. And to your point about racecraft, at a certain point, do these guys say, hey, let's stop battling? Wow, as he almost cooked it straight into Daniel there. Do we just run straight?
I think that's exactly what Melvin has done there. What you just said. He realized that they were losing too much time to Brevin up front. So He's conceded the position to Daniel. They are going to start pushing again.
And Tom got a penalty now, so that ruins all the fun we were about to have up front with all our penalties. Into the world is somehow plus 12 with no penalties. I don't know how he's doing it.
Wow, yeah, clean race from End of the World so far. He put in a good practice session the other day, so he was a driver that I had on my radar. But
Daniel had a really nice
yeah,
exit there. You saw him swerving everywhere.
yeah, End of the World is really the only guy up here up front that hasn't got a penalty. So we've got a total race on our hands. It's an even board for these guys.
It'll be nice here. Ronnie, Johnny R is starting to close in on End of the World here, and I'm just happy that these guys are racing closely and quickly, and they're not crashing into each other. Like you said at the beginning, we saw some wheel banging, which is natural and in a wet condition, but the IQ of letting people like, there's no reason for me to battle with you when I'm on really worn tires or I'm on wets and you're on inders. Like, there's really no reason to make it any more difficult than it needs to be. All you're going to do is cost yourself a worse finishing position.
Yeah, they just realize that they're losing time to the guy ahead, and they concede.
Young
It's almost like
Chestappen,
a game. Cliffy sets a fast slap, but I was gonna say it's almost
nice.
like a game of chess. It's almost like a game of chess.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of got to think ahead, long term. But sorry, what were you gonna say about Young Chestappen? Oh, he's right on the back of Freddy.
Yeah, he's trying to pass him on the outside in a few turns, which is insane. But again, I admire the aggression and the commitment he's got there. He trusts that car enough in the wet to try to make a move on the outside of Freddie, which is insane in the first place, but in the wet, he's really got a lot of confidence, I think.
Yeah, he might be really pushing too hard right now. We saw a little bit of wheel spin there. Maybe Chaz is getting a little bit impatient.
Hmm.
It looks like the car is really losing on him right now. He's got wheel spin coming out of corners. Because I gotta wonder right now. He's on 6 lap pole. Denters. Freddy's on 8.
Right.
He looks like he's in better shape, Freddy. But I gotta wonder if these inters are gonna start to maybe lose some tire wear.
With some glitching there, and it was a little wild. It's hard to tell what was going on with Chazza there.
Yeah, I think Chaz's car might be a little bit glitched out actually. Maybe not wheel spin going on. Yeah, maybe when I hop on board with him, it's a little bit better.
Daniel is a tenth behind Brevin through the S's. I mean, he's all over his gearbox. So Veloce is just keeping it about a second behind Cliffy, and Tom Rod's fallen off a little bit. I wonder if Veloce has a little bit more speed than Cliffy, and he's just kind of hanging back right now, waiting for the track to dry out.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. Tom Rudd, he has fallen back a bit, but when Veloce says the fastest lap. Oh, as tossed myself said the fastest lap, then left the session. I'll get an invite out to him. I know he was having some internet issues, but
His fastest his fastest laps was 2.5. It was 2 seconds faster than Veloce's fastest time. You're in a 1:43 before he got kicked.
yeah, I think he's 3 laps down. I don't know if he's actually I don't think he's actually racing.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Veloce's lost a little bit of time to Cliffy now.
Hmm.
Then we got Comrade Brooks in third. Manel's done good. He's made up some positions off the start and saved
Whoa!
P4.
Melvin Hard into the wall.
Oh, Melvin has gone into the wall.
He lost part of his wing there. Wow. That last turn has been a problem for a lot of guys. I think that's where
He's managed to
8,000 went
save.
off.
He's managed. Oh, and he's gone way deep on turn 1 too. He's managed to save the car, and we don't have a VSC or a safety car or anything. But that's unfortunate for Melvin right there. He's
And it
gonna have to
looks,
limp it back to the pits.
yeah, he's going to drop behind Pepsi maybe before he gets to the pits too. Wow. So those three guys, Brevin, Daniel, and Melvin, have been battling for probably 7 or 8 laps. And it looked like it just got the best of him there. I'm going to jump up here on Johnny as he's within half a second of End of the World.
See if Johnny can make a move.
What is
Consistent driver, Johnny.
What is the typical lifespan of inters? Was it usually about 11 or 12 laps?
I think it would depend on the weather conditions, and it does look like it's still spitting, so I think it would be around, yeah, 12 to 15 laps on the inters. But they really got to be kind of falling off now with how dry the track is. I see them starting to lock up into the corners, so that may be
Mm-hmm.
a sign that the inters are starting to die out.
As Daniel finally made it past Brevin, and he's opened up almost a second gap now in a little, in basically one sector. Johnny's sending it in on into the world there, but he's gonna stay in position there and fall back for the S's.
Yeah, it'd be interesting that you mentioned the inters. I've got to wonder if Cliffy and Veloce are going to hop in soon. They'll probably start the trend, and we'll see a bunch of drivers follow them. See, Weisheng unfortunately never, I don't think he got his start off, so he didn't get a good start to the race and got DQ'd on the start. It's unfortunate.
Johnny and Manuel have 9 seconds worth of penalties, so they're going to drop back pretty far once we get towards the end of this race here. Chazza has 12, which would currently drop him down to 12th, so by that standard, Brevin only needs to make... That pass Daniel made on Brevin was for points.
Yeah, so it looks like Brevin and Daniel will be in the points due to Chaz's penalties, and Johnny, Emmanuel are gonna lose some positions as well, yeah, because we got guys. End of the world he's actually a bit behind that pack of Godly of Manel and Godly Nub, so
Mm-hmm.
we may not get to benefit off of Manel's penalties. We'll see though.
We're going to jump up to Cliffy here. He is just kind of cruising along, minding his own business. He's been up there for what, 14 or the 15 laps? I think once we switched to inners, he took the lead, so he's been cruising for at least 10 laps now out by himself. Melvin has switched to the mediums, by the way. He's going for it.
Wow, so maybe the track is ready to switch to the dry compound. The track is dried out enough, possibly. See
VSC
how
is
Melvin? Oh, yeah. So Melvin is really struggling on those mediums. It looks like. I don't
right.
think the track is dry yet.
Young Chestappen DNF. It looked like he put it in the wall there in that final tabletop turn.
Oh, that's unfortunate. DNF for Young Chaza in this first race. It's not what you want to see.
So let's see here. I assume people will at least pit for new tires, whether they're inters or mediums or softs. We'll see. But with a VSC, it's definitely worth getting fresh tires of some sort.
Yeah, I think Melvin is kind of jumped the gun on putting those mediums on. I
Mm-hmm.
watched him for a little bit before that, just before that VSC came out, and it looked like he was struggling. Yeah, he's struggling right now just under this VSC, so he's gone a little bit too early on those.
Oh
But it
yeah,
is maybe.
he's
Ooh,
crashing.
VSC's probably gonna get winged. Oh, he's managed to save it, but we'll see if he can. He's gonna lose position. Oh man.
Vilas is in the pits. So Vilace and Tomrod decided to pit, and we went back green. So Cliffy might run away with
Oh,
this now.
they've gone into another set of inters. So yeah, those inters are really dead. Yeah, and Cliffy, I think I think Veloce might get a benefit off that pit under the VSC if Cliffy, yeah, and Melvin has retired with those medium tires on. But Cliffy is probably gonna have to pit right now. I think those inters are right on the edge.
Right. Looks like everybody else
So
put new
see,
pinners on, like you said.
yeah, Manel is gone. Yeah, he's gone on to new inters, and it's gonna be interesting. The track is probably gonna dry out for around like lap 25, and we're maybe gonna get a shootout on the soft tires.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. The end of the world with
See,
no penalties is slowly creeping up towards the podium.
yeah, if he can keep it clean and consistent here, like we said, he's gonna if he can maybe stretch those intermediates to where Jeff calls him in to put on a dry tire, he's gonna benefit tremendously. Oh, Godly Numbers retired.
Oh wow.
Is this another VSC? Oh, he's lost it on the straight. I'm on board with End of the World right now, and we can see Red Bull has lost it into the barrier.
You're talking about a tough start. We've had a lot of guys have tough starts today.
Do you know what? These guys, they were trying to stretch these intermediate tires, and we see guys right now struggling with traction. So that's why we've seen a couple of DNFs right now. Guys hopping into the pits because the strategy I've maybe confused a couple guys because they're trying to stretch these inters out to put on a set of dry tires like we saw Melvin do, but they're just gonna have to bite the bullet and put on a fresh pair of inters.
So we go back green with Cliffy in the pits right now. Let's see what they do in his stall here.
Oh, and so he almost benefited off that. Vlachi's coming around though. It's gonna be wheel to wheel on the exit, I think.
It is.
He's coming. He's coming out now. He's just
He's
left
got
the
him.
pit exit. Vlachi's got him.
And
So now Vlachi has gained the position back that Cliffy got on him on that last pit stop when they went wet to inters.
Look at that, a role reversal of what we saw 10 laps ago. You love to see it here.
Yeah, this is a tight battle right now. Wow.
And Cliffy's got about half a lap here to try to pick up.
DRS enabled.
Uh-oh, so now we're getting close to the mediums. This is a lot of fun now. Tom Rod picks up another penalty. Then Cliffy's got to get heat in those tires and brakes really quick now. Valache is going to pull away and open this up over a second. And he's going to be out of DRS range.
I bet Cliffy is burning that ERS right now. We'll get on board with him. He's saving it. He's saving it wisely, but he's still in the DRS range. He's going to activate the DRS right here. Be the first driver to do it today. He's got it wide open. He's going to be maybe looking for an overtake here in Valache. He's got the overtake button on. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he's not going to be close enough yet, but he's on the hunt.
And that is such a long stretch there, over a kilometer, as we said earlier, and that you can pick up a ton of speed down through there.
It is, Travis. It's one of my favorite straights on the calendar, probably. The great exit. You got that elevation change of once you come out of sector 1, you come down that short straight. Then you got that braking zone where you can overtake, and then another long DRS straight, which is just fantastic. Provides a lot of overtaking. Cliffy is keeping it close to Valache is dove into the pits for a dry compound. Cliffy has decided to stay out for a lap.
I gotta be honest.
Wow.
Lockup, did he speed?
So interesting from Valache. Let's see what tires he's gonna put on. A pair of softs.
And Tom Rod's coming in right behind him too. I would say he's going softs too.
Wow. So Cliffy, let's see what he can do. If he's probably gonna join them and go into the pits here, but is he gonna lose a lot of time?
All right, Valache comes out with
it looks like Cliffy is losing time. He's made a mistake not following Valache into the pits.
Everybody else is coming in. Johnny, Manuel, Into the World is in. This is going to bunch everybody up for the final here.
Wow.
It's about 19 or 20 seconds through that pit lane when you put your tires on, and the interval right now is at 17 and a half. As he gets a 3-second penalty.
Oh no! Valache's picked up. He's pushing too hard through the first sector. He's picked up a penalty on this. Maybe the track is just not dry enough yet, and he wasn't ready for that slip.
Wow,
so
that is
now
tough.
Cliff is gonna lose. Cliff is gonna lose a lot of time on these. I think he's losing. Oh, Valache's picked up 2 penalties. He's actually at 9 seconds right now. We missed a penalty. Oh
yes.
No! So I didn't see that. Sorry, Travis. But yeah. So now he's now Cliffy just has to stay patient and just keep it in the lines. Yeah.
Manuel picks up a penalty too, so yeah, it looks like you're right about that. The track being just a slightly wet, it'll probably need another lap or 2 before they switched over to the slicks. But add 6 seconds if you're watching to whatever the interval is from Cliffy to L1. Did he get another one? Cliffy just got one. Cliffy just got a time penalty, 3-second time penalty.
So now Tom Rudd and Cliffy are on the even playing field. Valache is still, we still got 8 laps to go here. Cliffy could pick up another one. If Valache just doesn't pick up another one to go to 12 seconds, then he's going to be possibly looking okay.
I mean, Valache should be way ahead of Cliffy now.
Yeah, Valache gained a lot of time on Cliffy there. I was saying Cliffy was losing so much time on those inters. He couldn't find any grip. He was sliding. The track dried out.
So Cliffy is now dropped to 3rd as he comes out of the pits. He's 2 seconds behind Tom Rod as Tom Rod drops through the back marker.
So Enda is coming. He's already put on softs. Okay, so 27 seconds behind. It's a battle between Cliffy and Tomrod right now. This is interesting. Everything can change if Valache gets another penalty or vice versa.
Right. So right now, Tomrod is actually in first with the 9-second penalties Valache has.
Yes.
And Valache might actually
And
drop down to third.
third, yeah, right now Cliffy is in that range too. Or, yeah, he is.
Tomrod locks it up there. Valache needs to push. I'm sure he's aware of his penalties, but he really needs to push. Three seconds over Tomrod, though. I don't know if he can do that in 8 laps. That's a tall order.
Yeah, especially with Tomrod right now. He's got Cliffy behind him pushing. He's gonna be motivated to really keep that car on the edge. So I think we're gonna see Tomrod maybe starting to eat into that gap of Valache.
Johnny's making a move on Manuel here. Looks like he's going to make a move coming down the start-finish stretch. Um, with all these penalties here, Manuel's going to fall big time down. It'll be interesting to see how this midfield shakes out post-race.
It's a tight race all the way through almost. We got Brevin and Pepsi fighting now as well for the final points position.
Oh, look at that, Pepsi sneaking into the points after that tough start where
Yeah,
Weisting was holding the brakes.
tough start for Pepsi and he's rebounded. He's kept his head down. And especially he was commentary on our first race. All these other guys were probably warmed up,
hmm
got a little bit of time trial practice in. Pepsi just went from the booth right into the car, so good
Right.
for him.
He's a real Hulkenberg.
Yep.
The end of the world
He's
picks
really
up his
beat.
first penalty.
Yeah, he's managed to keep it clean thus far, which is good. But that penalty is not going to make too much of a difference for him right now. If he was within fighting range to the podium, it would have been a big blow. But it looks like he's just roughly a pit stop behind. He's 20 seconds behind Cliffy. So Cliffy's losing some time, or he's gained some time actually. Sorry to Tom Brooks. He has the fastest lap there, 1:33.
And now we're starting to see some real race pace from these guys in the dry. As Brevin and Pepsi are having an awesome battle.
Oh yeah, side by side.
Nice driving there.
Brevin's got the DRS activated. Let's see if Pepsi defends inside. No, I think Brevin's gonna go for it.
See if he can make it stick.
He does. The outside has more traction here. I learned earlier today. Pepsi's managed to keep the inside line, but Brevin goes around the outside here. Oh,
He's got him.
Pepsi backs out.
Yeah,
Pepsi backs out of that.
that was a smart move. Real easy to get tangled there, and you both end up in the barrier.
Yep, he's gonna try and get him back here on the DRS straight. See if he can gain some time here. Looks like Pepsi's got a setup tuned for the corners.
Johnny makes a move on Manuel coming downhill here into the hairpin, and he's got him sealed off now. But will Manuel have DRS? They'll both have DRS coming on the stretch, so he should be able to keep that position.
Great move there from Johnny.
Manuel goes into the back of Johnny. That was you see that coming from a mile away.
Oh man. Manel too late on the brakes. Johnny's now protecting his line. Manel backs off.
Yeah, Manuel has pretty heavy wing damage.
So now we'll see here. Manel with 15 seconds of penalties. Is he going to let Brevin and Pepsi both get into the point position?
It looks like there's a very good chance of that, as Brevin has opened up a pretty big gap over Pepsi. That was fast.
Oh yeah, it looks like Pepsi might have had a little bit of a hiccup. He's out of the DRS range now. So let's look at the tire.
Valache up to 12 seconds right now. Penalties is not looking good for him in winning.
Oh,
And
that's not good.
Cliffy's all over the back of Tomrod now. He's caught him, so theoretically, this is the battle for the lead.
Both drivers are using their ERS. Not too much left. Cliffy's got the DRS activated. Can't go for a move here. It looks like he's just stuck in this range of kind of 1 second, but maybe he knows the penalty situation. He's just kind of hanging back, being patient. That's another purple sector there.
Just waiting to pick a spot. It's a smart move. You don't want to make your move too fast.
Yeah, and Vlache is kind of just, he's, what I mentioned at the beginning of the race, the track limits are a big factor on this track, and Vlache's throw this opening day win away with penalties.
It's really easy to do here, like you said, and it's tough. I mean, a lot of the DNFs that we had were anyway were people trying to probably stay within those track limits, and they cut a little bit too hard, got on the gas a little bit too early, and just looped it into the wall.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with this dynamic weather, really, strategies came into play, tire wear came into play, that much more. Cliffy right now is just driving beautifully. He just throws the car through the corners in the first sector. He's gaining time on Tom Rod. I think we're going to see an overtake stop.
See if he gets him down this kilometer stretch after the hairpin. He's going to be about 4.5, 4/10 coming out of the turn.
Tom Rod gets a little bit of a better exit, but he's on the hunt now. He's got the DRS activated. Overtake button on. I think he's going to go for the outside line here. Yeah, he makes a smart decision. He goes for the outside line. He knows that he's going to get the better traction here and get the inside line going into this corner. Beautiful move from Cliffy.
Textbook. That was textbook, especially at this track in that situation.
Beautiful racing from these two drivers. Tom Rod is poking his nose in there, looking to come back.
Tom Rod picks up a penalty.
Oh, he picks up a penalty there, correct, Travis? Oh, so that's going to be that for now, unless Cliffy picks up something himself here. But it looks like it's going to be smooth sailing for Cliffy, and he's going to take home his first win in UN Esports.
Okay,
It's not over till it's over. Let's knock on wood, but it's looking good for him right now.
Just got to hold it together. That was an awesome battle through there, though. That was amazing. That was great respect between two drivers there.
Johnny is on the back of Enda right now. Got the DRS ready to go.
Let's jump on board here with Johnny. See what we can get. Ooh, big lock up there.
Enda's driven a great race so far. Right now, these guys are just racing for the chips. Gentleman's race right here.
Yes, sir.
Johnny's got penalties, but still pushing hard, which you like to see.
Yeah, no reason to quit going. A lovely view of the downhill section there.
And Johnny's saved his ERS beautifully. He's got 35% left, a lot more than these drivers up at the front of the pack. Oh, it looks like, is that Pepsi that's gone off in Sector 3? It is. Oh no, Pepsi spun it around and lost the wing. Oh, that's unfortunate. He had such a good recovery race.
Yep, Johnny jumped ahead of Enda there while we were watching Pepsi recover. Finally makes the move.
Oh, sorry about that, Johnny, but, oh man, tough to see that for Pepsi.
Now Manuel's closing in on the back of Daniel Rick. As he goes on the outside just like Cliffy did a few laps ago, see if he can make it stick. And he does, as he went purple in Sector 2.
Yeah, wow.
I guess the big question...
That's a great move there. I love that move around the outside. It's almost like you trick the driver ahead of you into... You bait him into defending that inside line, and little does you know, you're thinking about the corner ahead and to get that inside line on the next turn.
I wouldn't, because usually when you come down a big stretch like that with DRS enabled, they always go inside. Always.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful move.
Oh, as Enda picks up another penalty, so maybe things are evening out here.
Yeah, maybe that tire wear is starting to get to him a little bit now on those softs.
Possibly. Tomrod has lost a bit of time to Cliffy.
The question is Daniel Rick in the Williams? Is he Daniel Ricciardo?
That's a good question. You know
Maybe
what?
he's in disguise.
I originally was like, oh no, a Daniel Ricciardo fanboy, but his name is actually Daniel something, some kind of Dutch Rick,
uh,
Rick something.
I was wondering if we had like
Don't want
a
to give it, don't want to give his
real
surname on
name.
stream, but it's this is his
Well,
actual real name, so
I was wondering if we
maybe
had a
a
Smurf in here.
big lock up there. See his tractors drive. Daniel Rick actually decided to go on the medium tires, so maybe we'll see these guys up on the front of the pack, start to lose time on the softs. They're probably dying out. But I actually have some experience with the first set of softs. I think 10 laps on them is very possible, but you're
Yeah,
around 50% at 10 laps. So these guys are feeling some tire wear right now, probably in the 40% range.
right. 50. When I start getting at 50%, I start to get worried. Where is the pop coming? Where am I going to slide off?
Yeah, mostly, yeah, you gotta be worried for the traction, which is just
Right.
being, I think.
And I think if you watch real F1, Lewis Hamilton gets worried about his tire grip at about 80%. If you hear him yelling at Toto all the time.
On those little trackers that they put up. Well, let's hope that nobody is 200 degrees centigrade today. So
Well, our first impression so far, UNF sport. I say as Tom Brooks
I
gets another penalty, that pretty much ends his hopes for winning. Um, it's been fun. We've had close racing. We've had close qualifying. We had the closest qualifying we've ever had.
yeah, this has been an impressive race so far. These guys are driving at a different level.
Awesome, respectful battles. We do have a pretty big number of DNFs, but a lot of that is first race jitters, and guys are pushing. They were pushing super hard. If you were watching the stream from the beginning, with that wet
Yeah,
weather, it just didn't. It
yeah,
didn't.
that dynamic weather really just played a factor.
Right. It didn't. Yeah, didn't play on cards there. But I'll run along with Cliffy here as he comes down the hill. He looks like he's going to be our first winner, unless he absolutely bends it here.
He's made some great moves today. That move on Tomrod was just class. He's done the pit stop strategies to a T as well. When we thought that Veloce had made the right decision coming in with coming to pit for those softs a lap earlier than Cliffy did,
Hmm.
it ended up panning out for Cliffy in the end with those penalties and everything.
And some other big pluses as we wind our way through Sector 3. Barry's plus 11. Freddie, last year's champion, plus 9 up to 6th. Brevin, plus 7. He's in the points. And Into the World, plus 13. As we take the last two turns here with Cliffy.
Veloce comes forward. He's going to take two as Cliffy, as long as he doesn't spin it here. He's going to be the first winner of Tier 1 in UNF1.
Oh, he's not!
Oh!
Veloce
What's
got
going
him
on?
with the penalty.
Has he picked up a penalty? Oh, Veloce has picked up the win, and Veloce is going to be our first winner.
Look at that. Sorry, Veloce, I wasn't riding with you. Wow, rookie mistake. That's
Oh,
embarrassing.
wow. So Cliffy, I guess. Let me look at the race director here. Did he pick up another penalty on that last lap? Oh no.
Into the World will finish 4th plus 14. That's amazing as Johnny drops down one with the penalties. Take a short ride with Freddie here while you're looking that up as we come across the line. Daniel up to 7th. The Williams in 7th there. Manuel will take 8th. Barry's will take 9th. And last here to cross the line will be Brevin taking our last points position. Double points for the Merc for Racing Point. And
Wow.
is that it?
So
Yeah.
L1 Veloci takes home the first win of the season, followed by Cliffy in P2, which we're gonna have to look into the penalties, but as of right now, that's what stands. Followed by Tom Rod Brooks, who came home in P3. As we just wait here, as the race director, End of the World, gets driver of the day, which is rightfully deserved. Good for you, Enda.
Uh,
As
comment
you see,
says comment just says our math
race.
was terrible, and that's what happened. So I will. Hey, that sounds absolutely right. Thanks, Ben. Apparently I added incorrectly. Sorry, viewers.
But during the gap to Veloce and Cliffy, it was okay, yeah. So Cliffy had 6 seconds of penalties. Okay.
Yeah, I gave him an
You
extra
did,
penalty
you
in my
did
brain.
make up. Yes, I thought I didn't. Cliffy, I thought you was still on that 3
Yeah, there you go.
penalties.
So we still beat him by half a second or so. Look at that. Our top three qualifiers stay the same. They finished 1, 2, 3. So our top 10 in points: L1, Valache, Cliffy, Tomrod, Into the World, Johnny R, Freddie, Two Real in sixth, Daniel, Rick in seventh, Manuel eighth, Barry's ninth, and Brevin 10th. And we'll try to grab our winners, our podium finishers here, and get them in for an interview. We were just waiting on these guys to join now if you're still watching for a little post-race interview.
I've added Veloce, Tom Rod Brooks, and Cliffy to the chat. We see
Hey,
you guys are now.
Valache.
Yeah, Veloce has joined us. Let's
Hi
see
guys,
here as he gets set up. Luca, congratulations on the first win. How did that
thank
feel?
you, thank you. It was a quite difficult race in the first part. There is the second one that finished the race that was so fast and yeah, quite difficult race, but the end we win it.
Yes, yes. You've picked up a few penalties in the track limits today, and as
Yeah.
well as did many other drivers. Were you struggling with keeping the car on limits today?
Yeah, the first part of the race, so in the wet, was quite difficult to manage the racing line. So
Yes,
sometimes
yes,
we get invalidated.
yes. Travis, do you have anything to ask Alwan Veloce?
Hey, Luca, man, congrats. Pleasure watching you out there today. Big win for you in the first race. The question I have for you is you were the first driver to jump onto the slicks. Were you afraid you were a lap too soon, or how did you feel about your strategy at that point?
Because my friend, people that races for Ferrari, retired at Alfa Race, and he told me that some guys try to put soft,
Hmm.
and yeah, I decided to enter before the second guy, and the strategy works.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Very,
You
very
played that
good,
really
very
well.
good.
Thank you guys.
Well, yes, bravo, Luca. Very good race. We hope to
Grazie.
see. We have to see more from you in the future.
Ok, thank you guys.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao
Uh,
ciao ragazzi.
Grazie.
Okay, I think that should be all for our interviews. As Tom Rod and Cliffy, I think, have departed. So
Okay.
that'll be everything for me. That'll be everything for me and Travis. Thank you for tuning in.